I want to tell you about my mama cat. So, several years ago, actually, I think it was maybe two years ago, mama cat came around our house and she was just kind of hanging out in the front. Ed was he was so taken by her because she seemed so sweet. She was such a sweet cat, because most cats out in the wild, they can be very feral and they won't let you touch them. So she would let us touch her. And he felt kind of sorry for her because she had this gash in her head, and it actually looked pretty bad. It was filled with like pus, and it was leaking and smelly, and it's kind of gross. So it looked like she had gotten into a cat fight. And she also just happened to be pregnant, and that was even worse because we were kind of worried that she was gonna have a miscarriage or something like that. But she didn't. She actually pulled through, and she was okay. A few months later, she had her kittens underneath the house. It's like 2 houses away from us. And after a while, she had the same daily routine. She'd come over here, she'd eat and gorge, and then she'd go back and feed her kittens. And then one day we noticed that not only was she in the back waiting for us, but she was also milking her kittens back there. So there were like 3 kittens with her. I guess they managed to make their way over to our house. So we were taken by her after that. Her kittens weren't as friendly. They really wouldn't let us touch them, but we ended up finding them homes anyways. And she just kind of hung around and would come every single day. She'd have her meal and then she'd take off. And that was the way it was for a while. And we realized that she was pregnant again a few weeks later after we had found homes for the first batch of kittens. And we decided that we were going to get her spayed after the second batch because we don't want you to keep having cats and then this whole neighborhood's going to be filled with kittens. And we already had a cat problem to begin with. So we had our own 2 kittens. We actually have cats ourselves. We have 2 cats, Chanel and Indiara. I did not name Chanel. Please do not blame me for that. I know people are going to think, what, this pretentious bitch name his cats Chanel. No, I did not. My ex named them actually, and he was the pretentious bitch. We had our 2 cats. I didn't really want to take on another cat, but she became our outdoor pussycat, so we fell in love with her. She'd come every single day, she'd have her meal, and she got bigger and bigger and bigger. So it was wintertime, right? So I was in the kitchen floor with her on our special rug. Well, it's now come to become our special rug. And I had this idea in my head. I was like, maybe I should look up what we should do if she goes into labor, because I just felt like it's possible she might want to have her kitties here, and even if it's underneath our house, and we need to know what we're gonna do. I got my phone. I looked online. I was looking at YouTube videos of what to do, and I went through the whole process. I saw how the water breaks and all of the above. And then after I was done watching the video, I turned off the video. I put my phone down. And what do you know? Mama cat sitting on my lap, just loving and enjoying all the deliciousness that I'm giving her, all the touch and affection that I'm giving her. Her water breaks. So her water popped on my lap. And I wasn't really grossed out because it just looked like KY jelly. It looked like KY jelly, honestly. I was like, okay, this looks like, okay. So I knew what to do because I had just watched the video. I knew exactly what we were going to be doing, what we were going to be faced with. Ed was freaking out. He was like, oh my God, babe, what do we do? What do we do? And he didn't know what to do. He was like running around with a chicken without his head. And I was like, it's okay, babe. I know what we're doing. I just saw the video. So go get a bunch of towels. And remember that Tupperware container that we have all the stuff in. Just go ahead and empty it out. Bring the container here because we're going to use it for the kittens. And he's like, we're going to let them be in here? I'm like, yeah, we're keeping the kittens in here because she's already decided that she's going to have her kittens in here. So... and Mama Cat, poor thing. Like, I knew this was going to be fast. I knew this was going to happen quickly. I didn't realize it was going to be that fast because, I mean, I really think within the 2 minutes that her water broke, she started to push. And I was like, oh shit, she's pushing. And so I'm trying to slide her over into the sunroom because she was on the rug and we didn't want to mess up the rug. So I found some towels, spread them across. I brought her over into the sunroom, and she just wanted to be very close to me and very attached to me. And she was like giving me that eye, like, please don't let me go through this. Please don't let me go through this. And I felt so bad for her. My heart was touched when I saw her looking up at me and giving me those eyes. And I was like, there's no way in hell I'm going to let you go through this, little girl. Like, I'm going to go through this with you. So me and her were there, and every time she'd push, I'm like, okay, girl, like, it's going to be okay. Just push and push. And so she'd get closer to me or she'd rub up against me every time she'd push. And so she ended up having 5 kittens. And I laid with her in her blood-soaked towels, and it's totally gross. Blood-soaked towels for the rest of the night. Ed went to bed. I think around 2 o'clock he went to sleep. I stayed up until like 5 o'clock because I thought that she was going to have another one, and I thought there's got to be another one in there. I feel like there's another one in there, but there wasn't. But it's weird because after every kitten, she would eat this gross-looking placenta. I don't know what the hell it was, but it would come out with each kitten, and she'd eat it. And she would eat each individual one. Now, I saw that in the video, and I saw that that's what they do, but still, I was just kind of grossed out by the whole thing. It reminds me of liver, when my mom used to make liver for dinner. That's what it reminds me of. I laid with her for the rest of the night. I actually got my iPad. I watched some like episodes of Roseanne while I was on the floor with her that night. And then I decided that I think she was done. So I went ahead and moved the kittens over to the Tupperware container. I put her in there as well. She was grateful for that. And then she fell asleep. So the next day I woke up, I checked in on her, and she was fine. And we were bonded since then. So Mama Cat and I have been together ever since that moment. We found homes for the kittens. We raised them. I love them. It was so much fun to have kittens because I love babies, those kinds of babies. So I had so much fun with them. And we found them good homes. I went through this whole campaign trying to find them homes because, you can't offer people kittens and think that they're going to want them, even though they're so cute. You got to make it worth it for them. And the more work people have to do to have kittens, then they don't want them. So I went and I bought like 5 litter boxes, 5 boxes of litter. I bought 5 bags of cat food or kitten food. I bought all the trays, everything that someone would need, toys, everything that someone would need for kittens. I even took a picture for my Facebook friends so that they could see what I was offering per kitten, so that way we could get the kittens moving and we can get them homes. I copied their faces and I placed them over characters, like cartoon characters, so that I could give them personalities, because when you think you know someone or you think you want something, it's just more desirable for you. So these weren't just blank kittens with no personalities. Like, they each have their own personalities. They came with all these goodies, and we got those kittens moving. So after a week or so, the kittens had all found homes. So Mama Cat stayed with us. We got her spayed. And poor thing, she was shaved on her tummy side for a few weeks until her hair grew back. But she's been with us ever since, and she was still going in and out, but then, Mama Cat. So, and then she started getting into cat fights with all these other cats in the area, trying to claim her territory, and she got into one particular really bad fight that was so bad. She got an infection on her tail, and it was like this bump that appeared, filled with pus, and it then ruptured, and it was just a gaping hole in her tail, and it was horrible, and it smelled like butt. It really did smell like butt. And I took her to the vet. They had to do surgery just to get the tail fixed. She had like a collar over her head, so she couldn't touch her tail, poor thing, and it was miserable. She literally licked that thing apart. But she made it through, and we decided afterwards that we were never going to let her out again because that's really expensive. So we didn't. We kept her inside, and now she's part of our family. She's my best friend, actually. She's the best cat I've ever had. I mean, I love her to death. And when I was younger, I used to dream about the type of cats that or the type of pet that I could have. And when I came to cats, I've had plenty of cats, but I think Mama just tops the cake. I mean, even though I have my NDR and I have my Chanel, Mama Cat tops the cake. She is the most amazing kitty. She sleeps with me. She bonds with me. She licks my face. She gives me kisses. She lets me hold her and hug her, and she's just the sweetest thing ever. So she's my favorite kitty, and I don't know what I would do if she were not a part of my life. And I think that animals have such an important role in our lives because they allow us to connect to something. And my partner always says, why do you call her the love of your life? You don't even say those things about me. And I'm like, because she doesn't want anything from me. I mean, yeah, I feed her and she wants food, but she just loves me no matter what. It's like, it's unconditional love. And I think that's why we love our children. That's why we love animals, because we share unconditional love with them. And I have this unconditional loving bond with her. And whenever I'm away too long, I miss her. I know Ed says that she gets depressed when I'm not here. Because, I'm not around, so she kind of just settles down for a while. And whenever I come home, she knows that I'm coming home, and she'll be running to the door. She becomes really active and engaged. So that's my mama cat. And what most people don't realize is we do share psychic bonds with our animals. There's been series that have been done. I know on ABC they had done one many years ago in which animals were like they had secret cameras there or hidden cameras, and they would see animals, and the animals would become active or would know that their owners were coming home. And they'd become very animated and so forth. So that was interesting. But I wanted to share my story about Mama Cat with you, and how much I love her, and how much she's so important to me, and how we sometimes can tune into animals based off of their needs and emotions and telepathically receive communication. And I know I did when she had her babies, because there was nothing there to tell me that I needed to go look online and look at videos of how to deal with a kitten or cat giving birth. And I just did it that moment, and at that exact moment she went into birth. So that was amazing. But I wanted to share this story with you. I hope you have a story. I would love to hear a story about you having a psychic bond with your pet or your animal, or just any animals in general. So please feel free to post in my comment section, and don't forget to subscribe, because if you don't subscribe, then you don't get regular updates when I release one of these great videos. And I look forward to talking to you next time. Bye.